Good afternoon, students. Today we will start with 18 FT 504 Quality Assurance in Garment Production. Now today we will start Unit 5, and Unit 5 talks about quality assurance in packing and organization. In that lesson 1 we will see about packing, warehousing and shipping of garments, and also we will see the cost of quality. This particular lesson 1 is divided into two halves. One we will talk about packing, warehousing and shipping of apparel products, and in the second we will see about the cost of quality in the garment industry. So let us see, students, what are there in the packing, warehousing and shipping and how it is important. Now at the first of this packing or the packaging of apparel products, we will see some of the functions of different packaging. Now what are those functions? Let us see. The distribution is very important in the apparel industry. Now garment factory, they produce the goods, okay, and those goods are to be distributed to the different retailers, okay, and for that they have to do the packing, okay. So packaging plays an important role, that's why in apparel industry, for distribution. Otherwise the garments cannot be distributed as such. So a suitable method of packing, that's why, is necessary. So that's why this plays an important role in the apparel sector, and we are talking about the packaging. Now distribution, when you are talking, we talk about packaging of the apparel first, and in that the importance is there in packaging. What type of packaging we will use for different apparels, that is important here. What type of product, what type of material, and what are the characteristics of the material that should be used for this purpose of distribution. As we can see in the image, the different apparel products are there, accessories are there, and they are in a suitable package, okay. Packaging, that's why, is very important in the apparel industry, okay, and this quality of the packaging or the paper, okay, those kind of things are to be seen thoroughly, and also the layer of different cardboards. Those are the important aspects of packaging in the apparel industry. Now to ship the product, what are the things we require or what are the necessity? That is the lowest cost. That means we have to really ship the product as minimum as possible. The cost incurring is necessary here, because otherwise the product value will not be realized. So that's why to ship the product, first important point is the lowest cost. We have to always abide by that. Then we have to deliver the goods to the destination within a very short period of time, okay. So the time limit is there, within that we have to deliver the goods. And third important point, that whatever we deliver, that should be of very good quality. So these are the important aspects of shipping the products, okay, quality products at low cost, okay, and we have to maintain all sorts of quality material in the packaging. Now coming into the part of the merchandising, when we present the apparel product, then what are the things necessary? Now presentation of the apparel product plays an important role here to sell the goods or to make the goods really attractive to the customer. For that reason, a suitable packaging is required, okay, to showcase different apparel products. As we can see that different retail industry also, different shelves are there. There also the garments are suitably packed, okay, and present before the different customer at the point of sale. So that's why presentation of the apparel product plays an important role in the merchandising. Now coming into the fact of different types of package forms and types of packaging materials when you are discussing, so we can see that different types of products are used here as a package. Some products are made of wood also, cases and crates. So those are the wood products as is shown in the figure. So some specialty items or specialty apparels in a special form when it is getting delivered. So that time this hard package is required, and that's why the wooden boxes are used, okay, in the form of cases and crates. So that is an important aspect of packaging of different apparel products. Especially the value added products are shipped in this fashion to different destinations. Now coming into the packaging material and different forms, we also see that in the industry a lot of boxes and cartons are used, okay. The cardboards, then plastics, all these materials are used in the form of a package in the apparel industry. As we can see in the figure, in an apparel industry, how the polythene bags are there, the packets have been formed, and how the cardboards are prepared. So both are the material, cardboards and the plastics are used in the form of boxes and also in the form of cartoons. Let us see, students, what are the other types of packaging forms and materials used. Now there are certain bags are used and also wrappers in the form of paper or plastic film. So these are in use in the apparel industry for quite a long time as a packaging material. Like in this particular image, we can see some plastics have been used there, and also here we can see some of the apparel products. So different types of packaging has been adopted for men's shirt. So those are the point of sale. This type of packaging is required not only to safeguard the apparel but also from the point of view of the sale to attract the customer. Different type of attractive packages nowadays are made to sell the product. So those are the packaging forms and the packaging material used in the industry in the form of bags and wrappers, in the form of paper or plastic film. Now quality specification are important for such packing material. Now what are the different quality parameters which are involved here? That we need to see now. Now properties, when you are taking about the packaging material or packing material, we can see that a lot of clarity is required in this packaging material. What are the type of material to be used there? What will be the thickness of the packing material? Those are the point of discussion in the quality specifications. As we can see in this particular type of cardboards, lot of different types of layers are there, okay. So number of layers are important, and so also the thickness, okay, depending upon the where you have to ship the goods, what type of agreement has been made with the customer. So in that fashion the cardboards are getting selected and is of particular quality. Now different properties when you are talking about these cardboards, then we can see that the width, length and the weight is very important. So those are the three parameters, okay, are very important for a good packing material for apparel. Now as you can see that lot of cardboards or the carton boxes have been used, and they should have the proper dimensions, okay, depending upon how many different types of apparel you are just putting on it, and different types of packaging materials are there into that. Different layers are used, different thickness and of particular dimensions they are used. So these are the basic properties of a cartoon or card box kind of thing, and those are used for transporting the apparels. Now characteristics, if you see, what are the different characteristics are required for shipping of different apparels. Let us see now what are those. So number one is the tensile strength. This is a very important parameter because strength or durability plays an important role in the card box or the cartoon box or different boxes used for this purpose. Elongation also is very important. Different testing instruments are there for this purpose. Tearing strength also is important because there should not be breakdown of that box what you are sending to the destination. And finally, the bursting strength of the particular box, that is also important, the material bursting strength. And for that, different samples are prepared and tested, and different instruments are getting used for determining different characteristics. Now coming to the different other parameters into this category, flammability plays an important role also. Okay, so it should not be easily flammable, and there should be proper mark or symbol should be there in the box, in the cartoon box. There must be air porosity, okay, otherwise the humidity of inside, if it is high, then water condensation may be there, so water may fall or accumulate inside the apparel. So that's why air porosity plays also an important role while determining the characteristics of this different packaging material for apparels. Now moisture permeability is also very important, that vapor should pass through inside it, otherwise the condensation. Sunlight transfer, that should be also. So those are the different characteristics which are available for different apparel cardboards or apparel packaging box. Now coming into the dimensional stability, it must be dimensionally stable to heat. So because different adverse situations will be there if it is shipped to a different destinations, so that it must be dimensionally stable at different such conditions, environmental conditions. This should be dimensionally stable to sunlight also, if sunlight falls on it. So those kind of characteristics are very important as is shown in the figure. So those kind of packaging material, we have to use a good packaging material which can resist such properties, and those are the important characteristics of a packaging material. Now different characteristics, when you are talking students, let us see what are the different other characteristics required for this, because this particular packaging material plays an important role while you are shipping the goods or you are producing before the customer. One of the very important parameter is the resistance to odors. Okay, it should not accumulate odor. Suppose it is kept, apparel products are kept inside the card box, so it must be resistance to odors. Okay, inside it no foul smell should be generated, otherwise those kind of smell may come into the garment, okay, and it may damage the aesthetics of the garment. So resistance to odor, that's why is important. Now there are different standards when you are talking about the packaging material. So obviously some of the international standards are there. One of such standard is called TAPI, that is the Technical Association of Pulp and Paper Industries. So they are having some standards, and since these wooden boxes or the boxes made of different types of papers or cardboards, so they are related to that, so that standard of TAPI is widely accepted in this particular area, and also the ASTM standards, that is the US based standards. So these are the two particular international standards which are in use in the packaging industry and useful for the apparels. Now When you are talking about the tappy, so this is the symbol as we are seeing there in the image, and also ASTM standard is well known, and this ASTM standard or ASTM international standard is widely used for apparel and the fabric industry apart from different other sectors. So those are the two standards, those are useful for packaging material or the evaluations of the packaging material as per a standard method. Now when you are trying to classify different packaging, so what we will see into that? Let us now understand what do you mean by classification of packaging. Now number one into this category, as we have already discussed little bit about the merchandising package, okay, when it is useful for the merchandising area or the presentation where it is very important. So that's why merchandising package or the display package of the merchandising product is important. This is also relevant to the utility package, okay. So if there is an attractive package, that is the merchandising package or display package, it will definitely attract the customer, okay. So that's why the package also, aesthetics of the package also plays an important role in this apparel industry. Now stock storage package is also another area, and this is also called the warehousing, where the stocks are getting maintained. Stocks not only for apparel but also for different accessories and different other products, the stocks are maintained. So that is called stock storage package or the warehouse package. And what are the things involved into this? Piece goods that can be stored, accessories as I was mentioning that can be stored, then different supplies, then finished garment of course is there, and so also the spare parts. So those are different 5 areas where the storage is used, and this is a typical storage or the warehouse package where such kind of facilities are available for different categories of goods. And so also that particular packaging or the warehousing of a Adidas factory is shown here. So these are the stock storage package. Now coming into the shipping package, this is also very important in our industry, that what are the types of packages used or what are the types of material used for shipping the goods. Let us see that different shipping packages when you are talking. Now this is the type of packages which are shipped, okay, made of some cardboards of different thicknesses, and these type of shipping packages are getting shipped in particular vessels. And merchandising package, when you are talking, they are made of transparent plastic envelope. There are certain hangers are used into this, some transparent display also sometimes is getting done. So this is the type of merchandising package which is shown in the figure, and this is different types of hangers by which the displaying has been done for different apparels. So these are the examples of merchandising package. Now types of merchandising utility packages when you are talking. So we talk about certain other types of clothing or certain other type of cases where the zippered cloth case has been used. Then durable translucent or opaque plastic envelopers are used. Then some snapped or zippered waterproof bags are also used in merchandising utility package. So those are the different options available for different kind of garment. Okay, so these are the different items actually which are ready for the dispatch from the merchandising division. So merchandising utility packages consists of such kind of durable, zippered or snapped products. So these are the different items, the zippered items. Now quality specification, if you see for the merchandising packaging. So students, can you tell now what are the different quality aspects required for merchandising package? You see that first one, the property which is required is the prevention of creasing. So that particular packaging material should not form crease. It should not be crushed. It should not be crushed easily. So it should prevent the crushing at different conditions. Okay. And then there are certain areas we have to see that what type of material, what should we use for this merchandising packaging, so that this creasing, crushing, all sorts of phenomena will not happen. So that good quality of paper, good quality of packaging material are to be used for this purpose. Now coming into the specification of different merchandising packaging, it should be also the dust infiltration, that prevention should be there from this particular package. So dust should not enter inside this particular package. So that's why dust infiltration is required. It must be durable enough. So it should not really break down or some tearing off. It should not happen due to that. So such is the condition. There the temperature and humidity is very, very important. It must withstand the particular temperature, different adverse climatic conditions, and so also the humidity. So the material should not damage with this temperature and humidity, and it must be durable into that. And dust infiltration, I was telling, so this type of packets or baggages are getting used there, so that dust cannot enter inside. Now quality specification of merchandising packaging also involved that the involvement of the light on the package. Okay, so fading of color should not be there in that particular merchandising package, should not fade under the light, and color should not be faded out. So we can see that different colorful packages are also available, merchandising packages. So those should not fade out, okay, under the lighting conditions. So that property also that particular merchandising packaging material should have. So those are the important points of the quality specification used for different merchandising apparels. Now merchandising packaging for different apparel products also include for certain kind of items like rainwear or swimwear category. So waterproofing is such a property is required for such an item. Then the seams and the closures, if anything is there in the merchandising packaging, so that should not be failed under certain adverse condition. So those we have to see. So those are the important parameters one must maintain, that waterproofing and the failure in seams or closures. So we have to be careful while choosing the merchandising packaging for this purpose. In this figure you can see different types of such merchandising packages are available, and different type of clothing and apparel packaging has been shown also in the figure. So those are the properties important for that. And quality specification, when you are talking, we also talk about little bit of appearance and the aesthetics, okay, but in this case particular area more important is the properties, okay, durability and other important features. Those things are important rather than aesthetics and the appearance of the package. So those are the point of discussions for this apparel merchandising goods which are to be shipped or which are to be packed with the particular material. Now there comes another type of packaging that is useful for warehouse package, or we call it as a stock storage package that we have mentioned earlier. So this stock storage package is important while we are storing the goods temporarily in the warehouse. Okay, so what will be the properties of those storage goods and how it is stored in the warehouse package, that is important here. It must be easily accessible, and also we have to receive and then we have to store. So what we are receiving, that has to be stored in the stock storage package, and that must be accessible and that must be stored what we are receiving as is shown in the particular image. Okay, so stock storage package is there in the warehouse. Now in the stock storage package in the warehouse, when you are talking, we have to store what we are receiving, and retrieving also is important. When it is important that we are storing the goods as we have received, and we have to retrieve the goods when it is required to be retrieved. Okay, retrieve is required because when we have to ship the goods to other destinations, or you have to hand over the material to other parties, so that time, so easy retrieving is required for this storage goods. So those are the important aspects of the stock storage package, which is important for warehouse package. So we have to send the retrieved items to a particular destinations, and also we have to receive and shipping the records. Okay, different records are created during the shipping, so that we have to receive and maintain into that. So these are the different shipping material, so records are to be created for that. So those records are to be maintained as a shipping records. Okay, because a lot of monetary issues will be there, the bank release of the money, all these things are involved into this warehouse packaging. Now piece good storage, when you are talking, the different kind of goods or the fabric which are stored here, so there also files are to be stored here. So we have to record the files, we have to record storage bins or the racks must be there to maintain the piece goods properly. And so also different other products that should be maintained in the file form, different documents are to be stored also. So different racks and different storage bins are required for that purpose. Now coming into the accessory storage, we can see that different accessories are also there, which contains threads, buttons, snap fasteners, zippers, velcros. So all these are coming under the accessories category. So accessories of storage, that is also important here, in the form of threads, buttons, snap fasteners, zippers and velcros. And these are the different items which are shown in the figure. For that, different storage area must be there, and those accessories must be stored. And it has three basic areas. So one is that we have to check the quantity and quality. We have to record the files for important documentation purpose, and for storage purpose of those kind of files we require bins or cubicles. So those are the three basic areas which are to be maintained in the warehouse. So these are the different files and documents has been shown here, and different racks which are or the kind of storage area, or it is kind of tables where it can be checked for quantity and quality. And finally we can store in different bins or different storage purpose, we can use that. Now supply storage, when you are talking, what are the meaning of the supply storage? It includes different markers, different chalks, different tapes, scale, paper, oil, etc. So those are also the essential items in the apparel sector, and those are to be stored also, and storage purpose or storage area for these are different. So it should be stored in a different area, and these are called the supply storage area in the apparel industry. So you can see the different areas how this can be really stored. And finally the finished garment storage, that is also important, how the finished garment are kept inside the warehouse. So suspended on hangers, some racks or rails should be there into that. Then some merchandising boxes also, the finished goods can be stored, and also it can be folded and unpacked easily. So different hangers have been shown here. So also the different racks where this also can be folded and kept it, and in some box form also it can be kept. So these are the finished garment storage area where such kind of materials are used. Then comes the spare parts storage. Different spare parts are required also in the apparel industry, like a spare parts of different processes like cutting, sewing, finishing, etc. And labels are also there. So some closets or drawers are to be used for that purpose, for storage area into that particular different kind of storage has been shown here. So in that files and drawers, so all these things are kept here in the apparel industry. And spare parts, there should be some cubicles or some type of beans kind of thing will be there, some small boxes should be there, so as spare parts can be stored there in different processing which are involved in the garment manufacturing. Now shipping package, this is one of the most important packages because we have to ship the apparel products to different destination in the foreign countries. So we have to give lot of importance, students, for this shipping package. We have to understand the shipping package so that we can do the safe transport of packages. Okay, so there should not be any breakdown of the packages, okay, because we have to ship the large quantity of apparel. So we have to be careful in shipping packages, and we have to do as well as the cost reduction also while we are shipping such goods. So safe in transport, quantity and the cost reduction, those are the important aspects of the shipping package while you are just developing or selecting some shipping package. Okay, so these are different kind of shipping packages. Goods are ready for shipping, and this will be transported following these different points which I mentioned here. Now students, let us see that when you are talking about such warehouse and the packaging kind of thing, let us see an ideal video where you can explain the different kind of updated informations and the systems is used in this warehouse. Let us see this video. So students, we have seen that in a modern warehouse, how the systems are there, okay, how different kind of packages are transported and how efficiently different conveyors, okay, electronic systems are there by which the man handlings are very less, but through the machine and different kind of softwares, they control the total system in the warehouse. Now, when you are talking about such kind of packaging system for shipping, it is very important that covering and uncovering of the garments. Okay, this is also important that merchandise packaging, stock storage packaging. So those are the different types of packaging or different important aspects of packing area. Now, shipping package, when you are talking, we talked about that shipping to the retailer or a wholesaler in a different country, okay, and then this type of retailer and the wholesalers who are involved in such kind of packaging, so there the shipping package plays an important role to it, because ultimately when you are shipping the goods, we have to also see it is not only the time requirement or the quality of the material, but also protection and preserve the garment quality during shipping. It is a great challenge. So shipping package there plays an important role to it. So it preserve the garment quality as such, both for the retail and the wholesaler sectors. And when you are talking about this cost reduction, we first concentrate upon reducing the handling cost of the material. That we have seen in the video how much they have reduced the handling of the material. So reduction of the handling cost is very important in both the retail and the wholesale sectors. Now, if you try to classify now in these different containers kind of thing used in such kind of shipping, so one of the containers is called a closed container carrying garments. Then another one is that without covering a merchandise package. There also one system is there by hanging the goods and then putting directly into the container in different form. So that way also the garment can be shipped to different countries. So closed container, okay, in that the garments how they are placed as is shown in the figure. So choice and design is very important. Carrier, then the cushion, okay, separation of different garments into this particular package is very important, and the shipping conditions. So those are the important areas that one must look into while they ship the goods to the different destinations, and so also the handling methods, how they really handle those products in the different processes. Carrier, cushion, then separate shipping conditions and handling methods, that's why plays an important role in determining the designing of the shipping package. Okay, so different shipping package, so different kind of methodologies are to be adopted as shown in the figure. Now, when you are talking about the equipment, packing and shipping equipment, so it is also important that container shapes are very important, the loaders are important, then container sealers are also important, how we seal the container, and then conveyors. So different conveyors are there for container actually transport of the goods or the transport of the different apparel products through the such containers. So those are the important points actually we must look into while we are talking about the packing and shipping equipment in different forms. Now, types of handling when you are talking, warehousing is very important, climatic environment, okay, then dividers between two packages are important. So these are the important areas of handling of goods in the warehouse. So climatic environment also plays an important role in which conditions, which temperature and humidity you store the goods, and between two packages there must be a separations, otherwise there will be reactions. There also some marking and labeling is important to safeguard the goods or avoiding the mixing of the goods. Then some templates and insulations covering are to be used, proper hazards marking are also to be done while doing the handling. Then the special specifications are important. They are like a climatic environment, which temperature and humidity, which is the country of destination, that also is important, which country it is useful. Now let us see, students, another important chapter, that is called the cost of quality. Now this particular terminology is very important in the apparel industry, because quality we are talking. So quality of a product, okay. We know about quality control, we know about quality assurance, but cost of quality definitely is very least understood area. People doesn't know much about this cost of quality, and proper methodology is not adapted to evaluate, and also it is not required also for different industries to calculate the cost of quality, because they are satisfied with the profit margin, they are satisfied with the level of production. But it is very important, the cost of quality, and how it is important, and what are the different areas we must look into while we are talking about the cost of quality. Let us see, students, what do you mean by the cost of quality. Now cost of quality, when you are talking, barring some exceptions in different industries, around 20 to 25% of the manufacturing cost is added to it, the cost of quality, which is not getting calculated while doing the actual cost calculation by factories. So this is over and above the manufacturing cost, 20 to 25%. So it is not a matter of this one neglecting this particular percentage, because cost involvement is there. So additional 20 to 25% cost is involved, what we are showing here in different apparel products. So that additional cost has to be stopped or has to be reduced, then only company can do certain profits. So that is the cost of quality, and it can be in different stages of manufacturing. Now cost of quality, as I told you, it is totally a misconception to the people. So they interpret it differently, the cost of quality, and different examples of cost of quality. Students, can you read this? This is nothing but inspection in the apparel industry. You will be surprised to know that this particular area also comes under the cost of quality. Though these people, the different experts in this inspection area, they are trying to improve the quality of the garment by doing some sort of inspection, but they are adding some cost to it, which is never been calculated in the calculation of the fabric cost or the garment cost in general. So there is a misconception, that's why. Now you can see, students, that there is another image which talks about the quality planning. Do you know that this planning of quality also comes under the cost of quality? In a different form, this is adding to the cost of different apparel product, which is never been considered in the apparel industry, and that's why when I told that 20 to 25% above the production cost or manufacturing cost, so these are all the costs involved into this. Quality planning comes under this category. Labors, manpowers, all these things are getting utilized in this quality planning. So that comes under the cost of quality, because this is nothing but a quality related effort. People wants to improve the quality by doing certain kind of planning. Now let us see, students, one important video. After that we will just try to discuss some of the important features of cost of quality, how it is getting divided into different areas, and those areas how we can relate to the apparel industry. So let us see this video. After that we will go into that.
Understanding the cost of quality in the apparel industry. The fashion industry is a multi-billion-dollar global enterprise and is one of the largest and most value-creating industries in the world. The global apparel market was valued at over $842.7 billion in 2016 and constitutes around 2% of the world's GDP. Furthermore, the global apparel market is forecast to reach $1,004.6 billion in value by 2021. Despite these impressive numbers, the global apparel market experienced a significant slowdown in 2016, decreasing from 5% growth in 2015 to 2.5% growth in 2016. This is the slowest growth rate the fashion industry has experienced in over a decade. In addition to the pressure caused by the global decline, high-quality products have become more important in the garment industry, especially to consumers. This is where the cost of quality comes in. The cost of quality is the money a factory spends on garment and material inspections, quality personnel training, and the cost of labor for repair work to ensure that products meet acceptable quality standards. The cost of quality can be divided into the cost of good quality, which branches into prevention and appraisal costs, and the cost of poor quality, which branches into internal and external failure costs. We'll start with the cost of achieving good quality. Prevention costs refer to the cost of all activities implemented to prevent poor quality issues. Some examples include quality improvement projects, quality education and training, supplier review, pre-production sample and process design, error proofing. Appraisal costs are connected to the measuring, monitoring, and auditing of activities which are related to quality. Some examples include product, process, and quality audits, supplier ratings, testing and evaluation of equipment, incoming material inspections, final product inspections. The cost of poor quality. Internal failure costs are costs associated with products that fail to meet quality standards which are discovered before the product is delivered to the customer. They are incurred in the form of reworking, scraping, retesting, delays, downtime, redesigning. External failure costs are costs caused by products that fail to meet quality standards and are discovered after the delivery of goods to external customers. They include the costs for complaints, returned products, product recalls, rebuilding of tools or equipment, reordering to replace faulty material, loss in sales or turnover, loss of customers, damaged brand reputation. The cost of poor quality is far greater than the cost of quality implementation and improvement. For instance, rectifying a defect in the customer phase is 5 times greater than it is at the merchandise development or manufacturing phase. Therefore, it is imperative for brands to invest in effective quality management systems to safeguard the production of their quality garments. Measuring your internal failure costs, appraisal costs, and preventive costs is the first step in identifying areas for improvement while reducing costs, remaining competitive, and increasing your return on investment. To improve quality management, retailers partner with textile quality solution providers who are experts in the industry and understand the importance of cost of quality in ensuring the production of higher quality goods. Outsourcing your quality management systems coupled with detailed cost of poor quality will help your brand build problem prevention skills necessary to work towards continued improvement and growth.
So students, we have understood little bit about the cost of quality, and let us now discuss about different areas, how the cost of quality has been evolved, okay, and how it can be calculated in the apparel industry. Let us see now. Now, as I already told that there is a margin or above the manufacturing cost what factory is showing. So, cost of poor quality is not taken care of. So, around 15 to 40% of that costs also are there. Now, what are those costs and how they come into the cost of quality? That is the question we have to answer. Now students, if you see this particular flow chart, then you can see that cost of quality is divided into two categories: cost of poor quality and cost of good quality. So cost of poor quality due to the internal and external failure, and cost of good quality because of appraisal and prevention. So if you understand this particular chart, you can really understand why the cost of quality is high in the apparel industry. Let us see with some examples. Now, when we are talking about cost of quality and we are talking about different apparel units, how they are related to the quality costs, that is the question here. Now, students, you just see that different buyers, they visit sometimes in different apparel units, and they see the products in the factory, they inspect the goods, okay, and see that whether it has been done as per the specifications or not. So this also comes under cost of quality. There is a quality cost, quality of the buyer's time and money involved into this. Then finding and correcting mistakes. Okay, mistakes do happen in the apparel industry. So also the rectification process or repairing process. So when such kind of things are there, more of corrections, more of repair work, more it is adding to the cost of quality. Okay, because these are the internal failure, because we are not producing right at the first time. For that we have to do the reworking, okay, redoing the work, retesting the work, re-inspect the goods, rebuilding the machines, all are like that. Okay, so those things are to be reduced if you want to really reduce the cost of quality. Now, cost of quality, how it increases, that is the million-dollar questions here. Now, cost of quality increases when every time we work for redoing this, to make it corrected, work is redone. Okay, so when we do such kind of thing, redoing the work because of certain mistakes, it adds to the cost of quality. Now, if you see some of the examples in the apparel sector, so it will include that the reworking of a garment. So reworking of a garment means there are certain problems in the garment. For that, we have to rework and set it right. Retesting of performance of the apparel. First time it fails due to certain parameters, durability, fastness or any other parameter. Then we have to improve upon and do the retesting. So this again involve the cost of failure. And also the rebuilding of a garment machine. Okay, a machine is there and you are doing some sort of maintenance or rectifications in the machines, so that also coming under cost of quality. So retesting, as I told, so every time, like if sample fails in a button pull test, so you have to securely fix the garment, that particular button, then you have to retest it. So that is coming under retesting. So that adds to the cost of quality. Now there are other examples like size specification sheet. You know already that this particular sheet is very important because it pictorial representation of all the parameters of the garment, how the manufacturing will take place. So if anybody does the corrections, which do happen again in the industry, some development work or some modification work, so when you do that corrections, it adds to the quality. Okay, some sort of prevention cost we can call it as. Reprocessing of garment, so that is the again coming under the reworking. Okay, so this is due to the again internal failure of the system. So this is the specification chart, and reprocessing at different stages. It is not only in the garment stage but also in fabric stage or different other garment manufacturing stage, in the finish stage, etc. So those kind of things comes under cost of quality. Now importance, if you see, Importance of cost of quality is that it improves the quality and reduce the cost. This should be our ultimate aim. Now preventive actions for that needs to be taken, otherwise you cannot stop such kind of things to really stop. So quality and the cost we have to really balance. When you are improving the quality, you are reducing the cost. So that is the parameter you have to always think and keep it in mind, and for that certain preventive actions are important. Now importance also is there when we are doing the budget preparations. Okay, so in order to do certain quality characteristics to reach certain desired quality level, we have to budget, and this budget should be prepared by the finance department judiciously so that the cost is getting reduced in the process. This is important to maintain this or checking the cost of quality are under control. Now there is a term called cost of conformance. What do you mean by cost of conformance? Cost of conformance comes when a product is of good quality. So quality is conforming to the product specifications. Okay, that can be ensured through testing, inspection, or different visual examinations. So that is the cost of conformance. Now the cost of conformance, when you are talking, two of the very important terminologies are associated with it. Okay, so cost of quality takes care of cost of conformance and also the cost of non-conformance. Okay, so both things are involved into it. Now cost of non-conformance we have already seen. Okay, that repair work, redoing the work, retesting work, re-inspection the goods, rebuilding the machines, all are current. But cost of conformance, what is that cost? That is very important. So cost of conformance is nothing but the cost of quality assurance activities, cost of quality assurance activities. So these two costs are adding together and it forms the cost of conformance. Okay, though we are producing at the right cause, okay, the garment we are producing, lot of precautions we are taking by doing some quality control and quality assurance measures, and we are improving the cost of conformance. But as we have seen that total cost of quality contains two of the parameters. Cost of conformance also is there and cost of non-conformance also is there. So sum of this will take care of total quality cost. So that's why the quality control at different stages and quality assurance of overall garment industry, both are under cost of conformance. Now quality assurance activity, when you are talking, we talk about different standards, we talk about different standards training, we talk about different processes, implementations. So different stages are there in quality assurance, what we have already seen in some other chapters. Okay, so those costs are coming under the cost of conformance. Okay, so anything you do about that particular quality assurance, it will fall under that category. Similarly, the cost of quality control, what we are talking, like inspection, testing, reviews and audits of the factories. Okay, so all these parameters are coming under the quality control and ultimately it is coming under the conformance, cost of conformance, and which affects the cost of quality also. Now let us see cost of non-conformance. When you are talking, we talked about two types of failure costs. One is the internal failure cost, another is the external failure cost, and cost of conformance is the sum of these two parameters. Now examples, if you see the internal failure cost, when a particular garment consignment has been returned by the buyers due to certain faults, and external failure cost is that customer is unhappy about the shipment what you have sent, that's why they have returned the goods. So that is coming under the external failure costs. So both these costs together forms the cost of non-conformance. Okay. Now when you talk about the internal failure cost, what do you mean by internal failure costs now? Now when you are talking that there is a failure, to maintain certain measurement parameter, fit parameters, then inspection of the goods again required, that is called re-inspection. Similarly, some repair work has to be done to make the garment fit for use. So repair work, re-inspection work are both coming under this internal failure cost category. For an example, that this jeans goods, you can see some of the seam problems are there, some repair work is going on. So these are all coming under internal failure costs. Now what do you mean by external failure cost then? External failure cost is nothing but that returned merchandise, when the merchandise what we have shipped is not fulfilling the requirement of the customer. So you have to return the goods. Okay. So transport of defective merchandise, that also comes under these claims from different parties because of the poor quality of the goods. Those are all coming under external failure costs. Okay. And it adds to the total quality cost. So those are the examples of different internal failure and the external failures. Now COQ, what do you mean by that? COQ is nothing but cost of quality, how it is ensured, cost of good quality and cost of poor quality. So they are mentioned as COGQ and COPQ. So COQ, when you are talking about good quality, COGQ, and cost of poor quality, that like a defect in the shards in the leveling area. So cost of poor quality is involved into this. Now cost of quality involves the prevention cost, appraisal cost, internal failure cost as we have seen, and external failure costs, and which are abbreviated by PC, AC, IFC and EFC. For an example, the different appraisal cost like AC testing, so that comes under that category. So in this fashion, you can see some of the products which are there. Okay, some training is given, so that is the prevention. So to produce better garment, training is required. So that type of training, if it is there, it comes under the prevention cost. So these are some of the examples of prevention and the appraisal cost. Prevention cost is to prevent from producing the poor quality. So that's why poor quality, if it is there, profit margin will be reduced. So that's why we have to take some preventions. Okay. For an example, implementing some quality systems like Six Sigma. So that is also coming under the prevention cost. Prevention cost also include that new merchandise review, different production meeting, quality planning meeting, supplier capability survey, okay, then evaluation of the supplier. All things are coming under the prevention cost of the material. Now prevention cost also include team meetings, different project meetings, education and training which has happened in the apparel industry. So those are all coming under this prevention cost. These are all preventing some of the materials which you have produced incorrectly. So that can be prevented by doing some sort of meeting, projects and education and training. Appraisal cost, that is we already mentioned some testing, evaluation, okay, auditing. So those are all coming under this category of appraisal cost. So here some auditing business is going on in the apparel industry. So that is coming under the appraisal costs. And examples also include inspection, product process, materials, all this coming under the appraisal costs. So these are the different examples what I have shown. And internal failure cost is definitely prior to the delivery it happens. We take a lot of measures to it, as I already mentioned. So a lot of precautions, and it includes the scrap, rework, re-inspection, retesting, material review, downgrading a product, all are coming under the internal failure cost. Here in the figure you can see some retesting has been done, and to see that whether product is now fit for use. Similarly, the external failure cost, it is by the customer, and it is a very high impact is there. So different kind of products, some failure of the products, defects in the products. So customer can raise questions, and that becomes the external failure costs. External failure cost also involve the customer complaint, which is very serious in nature, customer returns, product recalls. So for an example, there is a product recall of a particular garment. So this is coming under the external failure cost, and it is very serious from customer's point of view, and which adds to the quality costs. So what is the relationship now of various costs? How total quality cost is calculated? So COGQ, cost of good quality, means prevention cost plus appraisal cost, and cost of poor quality means internal failure cost plus external failure cost, and total if you calculate, then COQ, that is the cost of quality, is equal to all these parameters: prevention cost, appraisal cost, internal failure cost plus external failure cost, all adding together gives the total cost of quality. So I think students, you have understood now the cost of quality what we mentioned earlier through a flowchart, flow diagram. So how it matches with different examples in the apparel industry. So costing, when you are talking, some costs are really hidden costs and difficult to identify in the where I doing the garment testing. And costing, that's why, has to be carefully controlled. Iceberg model is there in the apparel industry. So 15% of manufacturing costs are there on the surface, but 85% are below the surface. So we have to be careful while you are doing the costing of the garment and calculating the cost of quality. So that's all, students. Thank you very much for attending this particular lesson. So we have completed that Unit 5 Lesson 1 with packing of the garment material and also the cost of quality in detail, which are followed in the apparel industry. Thank you very much.